everyone. In our past presentation, we saw how we can go about creating CloudHSM and doing the setup of provisioning the infrastructure, the cluster, and that is where, if you recall, we had gone into this step and we had provisioned the CloudHSM. This was the cluster we had created. We had put it into EC2. Let me open SCP here. This was the VM we had created. We did a bunch of commands where we were able to not only create the cluster, we were able to initialize as well as activate. So that was all just about creating the cluster. Now we need to bring our own key as part of the CloudHSM setup, and that is what we'll focus on this video. So sit back and pay attention, because this is going to have a bunch of CLI commands. So let me now zoom in to, I'll change the font here, and let me try to make this settings appearance. And let me make it, I think last time it was 24. I think this should be good. And now let's go about creating our own key. So if we go here, just to provide, this is the cluster. And now if we go to KMS is where we want to create our key. So now if I go here, customize keys, I don't have any keys. And the idea is, because one of the ways I can go about creating the keys, I can come here, I can do this, and I can choose the name of the key. I can do YT demo, and I can choose next, and I can provide the rules as part of this, and then come here, and this is the way I can go about creating bring customer managed key. And if you want to see differences between customer managed key and AWS cloud provider key, you can check the link on top. So that is one thing you need to see. But this is where you can go about it. Now this is where we'll create our own key over here. So the first step, what we'll need to do is we'll go about creating a new empty directory. So what I'll do is I'll create a directory. I'll create it in the OPT folder, and this is where I'll just put it as Arina HSM. And I'll just put it as HSM BYOK YT. So this is the folder, the search file, the directory. Now the directory is created. Now what I do is I cd into the directory. Now if I do, I find C0 objects out here. So what I first need to do is I need to create the KMS key that doesn't have any key material associated. And a lot of these things, one can easily go to the AWS documentation, right? But the documentation is not very straightforward. It is a bunch of commands that one has to look into. That is where you need to see your stuff. So essentially you can go here, and then getting started should take you there. The documentation, and there you go. You can come here, and like the CLI reference, you can use this CLI reference. This is a few things I've already incorporated. And all the steps that I'm giving here, you can click the link below, which will take you to a blog. It will provide all the steps required for this setup as well. So now we come here and we're going to create the key. So for this, what we're going to do is I have this CLI open. I'll come back here, and now I'll run this. I'll create the KMS key with no key material. So for that, what I'll do is I'll run, let me see if I have AWS. AWS will run configure. Like I said, there is no access key as part of this, and this is something I will need to have set up here. So let me get this access key and I'll come back. I don't want to share the access key. So I'll just stop sharing and I'll come back in a few minutes. I actually just forgot that I'm part of the identity center, and this is the access key that I need to use. For some reason it has kicked me out. So this is I'm on Linux, and this is what I need to use as part of the setup. So let me directly copy this, because all I have to do is export it. And let's see if I can get out of this. And then we'll paste it. And AWS configure. And I do need to give it here as well. So let me give the access key. Let me copy this access key. And what is the secret access key? What is that? I'll choose default region name as UST. I'll create format. I'll leave it empty. So now if I do AWS S3 I should see the list of the buckets that are there. So that means I'm connected to the CLI. So I'll just hit come out of here. And now I'll create the key. So the command I need to run for that is AWS. And this is the command. So now what we have done is we have created a key. Make a note of this because this is something that we'll be referencing in data sections. So let me just here and come here. And this is where I copied, and this is what we're going to be looking into. So just to put here, if I come as part of the key, I'll see the key as well created, which is showing as pending import. Now, my key at least is showing up in the console. So what we need to now do is go back to Putty. This is Putty. And now we will create an ADS as part of this setup, because what is an ADS? ADS is actually a sort of a name that we can call this key, because giving this key ID is going to be difficult, but it's going to be something like a name over here. So we can't just go and, we can do from here as well, right? But it's kind of good to then give the ADS name. I'll just give and ADS. I will give Arina. And the target key ID will be this particular key ID over here. So that is what I'll just paste. And now if I come as part of the console, I'll see the alias also created. So this is how we can put the alias. Now what do we need to do? We need to create the parameters to import. So what is the command going to be for that? We will come here and we will get the parameters for both. And this is the command. This is part of the KMS CLI. And now again, I will give the key ID. And now I provide the traffic algorithm. This is very important because you can choose different algorithms to have your better security posture. Just switch there. And I'm just going to 56 is what I will give. And I'll give the wrapping. This is RSA. Just try to 58. I'll give this one. Region I'll give as SC1. And I'll give this as the wrapping error intercept this sound file. So what we are doing is we are going to be getting the parameters to import. And this key ID you need to give whatever key ID you would do, and output location is whatever the output location you want to provide the wrapping parameters to be created. Okay, so I have an error here. I gave KMS get parameters for import key ID and then wrapping algorithm. I missed putting the output here. This was the error. Permission denied. I will do a sudo. Still permission denied. Oh, okay. Let me just do a chmod. I'll just give all permission. You shouldn't give 777, but just to move it out. How is this here? Following arguments are required. Wrapping dash algorithm. I missed the 2 dashes. That's what it's saying. That's where all these things should be available as part of the command. And I thought I just did it. Why is it saying? Okay. So the sudo was the problem. It for some reason didn't like sudo. But let me show you here. Let me show you. Now I can go to OPT and this is where I will have CloudHSM, Arina HSM. So this is the folder created Arina. And this is the wrapping parameters. JSON is created now. So now we have the wrapping parameters created. What are we going to do? We're going to input the token. So for that, we run this command, which is the reason why you want to do it this way, because sometimes if you want to open the file in an editor, you can corrupt it. So that is where this command will be useful. And so let me get so this is going to be dot token, and then I will give this to be the wrap dot slash, because I have the wrapping. I give the file over here, and then I output to another file, import token dot d64. So what this has done is it will now create an import token b64 file. And the reason I have to do this, let me just open up and show you. It will just have this import token is what we want to extract. If you want to extract directly, you can add special characters, which is always better to do via CLI. So that is one thing. And now what we have done with the import token binary file created, we are going to create a public key. So for that, what you will do is you will run command like this. And so like this, essentially we want to change this to be having this format. And then I put a $sign here. And I will wrap this as part of setup. So now I have public key. I have this. And now we just put so I have this file now that I could use. So and public key. And thank you. So this is my setup going to be now. So let's just install of command is proper. I have begin public key. And then I have the new line to the JQ public key. I use the path and so this is fine. Now let me output it to this location. Public needed 10. Now let's see the contents of this guy. Okay. So you see, this is how the public key got created, which is what we want to do. So now, if I go back, now we have the public key. So what we have to do is you have to convert the base 64 encoded token into the binary format. So now for that we will use OpenSSL and run this command. 64. Right side is put it here and I'll put the file to London format. And nothing is wrong with the command. So it is OpenSSL ENC -D. Okay, I think I missed the base 64. This should work now. And now if I come here and refresh, I will see the base 64 file there. The bin file created, this file created. So now I have to import the key file and set the attributes. And again, I know the video will be confusing, but all this is part of the blog that we have done. So you can click the link below and you can go to the blog. Now if you recall in the prior video, we had to create a crypto user. So similarly we have to do here. For that whatever crypto user we have, I'll just export the credential of that. Just go crypto user. And I'll export. Just keep this always. And now just type the password here. But this is something, anyways, I'm going to delete it. So now we have exported the crypto user. Here. And now what we have to do is we have to import the public key file. For that, we are going to be using the CloudHSM CLI. So for that, we will go to run this command. OPT CloudHSM, then CloudHSM CLI. The key, this is not part of the AWS CLI, but CloudHSM CLI. And we give PEM, we give path, give dot public key dot PEM. Now this is another important part that we have to give the wrapping key. I'll just give YT. Just keep this, remember this name because we're going to refer this name in the next topic. So I'll give the key type dash say dash public dash dash. So the login failed. So let me now go back and try to log in actually. How did we have this login? So the way we have to log in is we have to go to the HSM CLI. And so what you do is you go to this command, you have this, remove everything. And now this is going to be so I log in as enter. So now I get to the CLI prompt. So once logged in, I need to log in with the crypto user. So the way I log in is I think this was the error I gave. So it's not correct. The password of the issue. So yeah, so let me then come back and let me just fix this password here. I can quit from here. Now I'm back and I come out here. This is red. I had to export it because I had The earlier password I had put it as additional 2 characters. So now if I run this, right, so now I'm trying to import the file, the key file. So for that, and I gave the label login failed incorrect. So let me actually open another putty session and let's try using that there. So I think up here I should have already. Let me open that. I'll take this. Now CD. I got into, let me zoom into this as well. Change settings. Difference. Make it 22. So now this is, let me use this CLI to get into CloudHSM to see what is the issue. So now I'm into this thing. Let me log in. Back. See, there's no login. Username. Now I enter the password. So now I have logged in. So what I need to do now is, this command is what I need to run. So let me try copying it. Let's see. Let's be on at least a cluster. So the key in the cluster, because this is availability check. So there is this option of giving no high availability. So what I need to do for this one is, I need to run this as a CLI. So let me quit from here and now come back and do a sudo opt CloudHSM, then configure, and I give this IP address, which is going to be, well, that's what I want to do. And now I have to make this. Okay, so now let's try running this again. I can't, what I'm saying is, forget the availability. Just even if it is one availability zone, go ahead and do the setup. So now let me log in. I need to again type in the command for that, login encrypt with crypto. The command for that is going to be login. Now I'll get the password. Well, now I logged in as this user. And now let me try running the command again. Let's see if this works. Actually, this is the one I have to give the whole path here. So let me move this to Notepad. And this is the path I need to update. Because I'm sitting in CLI. I'm not in the putty session. Now I do this and now I can run this command. Let's see if this works. So now this ran. So I was able to successfully import the key out here. So that is one of the things you will have to do. Now what we need to do is we need to create a new symmetric key. So, which is like if, right, we need to create it to be able to use it in the next step. So for that, what I'll do is I will come to this setup here and I'll do this, then you add metric and AES and then key length and I'll give the bytes 32. Actually, let me just give this BYOK white. So this is again important, that label that you should be putting in. So now it's also created the symmetric AES key. As part of this, now what we need to do is we need to use the importer to wrap the symmetric key. And this is where the label that we had provided earlier is what we are going to be using. So now this is where we need to just make a note of this label here. Let me make a note of this command. So this is one label we need to use for the wrapping, and this is the symmetric key label that we will be using. So now what we have to do is we're going to be wrap the symmetric key. So with this, let me come here and run command key wrap leaving. And this is when I just just ensure to use the same label you had provided, BYOK -YG. And I'll give the wrapping little clip. And this is again, I need to give this. I'll just copy paste it so I don't put any typos. Now I'll give the hash function. And this path I will give is, okay, this path to be the same path. And I'll give the name of the file, which is KYS-2. And then I'll just wrap. And then, so let's just show you the command to ensure we are all, but we do a key wrap. We provide the wrapping algorithm We provide the label as well, and then see this works. Then I think yes, this is what we need to take and we put this. So this is the output that you should be getting as part of this. Now the last step is we need to import this key material, because as of now this is showing as pending import. Right? If you come here, this should be import. We need to import the key material which is there. Right? So that is what we need to see. So that is the last step, and let's get this done then. So for that, let's go back to the AWS command, and I'm here, and now go. Actually, I'm done with this, so I think it's quick from here. And now I'll go to AWS, AMS, import key material, and now this is the key ID, and the key ID you're going to take from here. So now I took this key ID, and I will provide the encrypted. I'll give the file the colon. It's the file name. It's what I've created here. The file name is this one. To give 2 slashes. So now the file name is I've provided. I can give the import and the colon. And again now go to get the import token dot then, so I don't do any typos. Now I need to provide the expiration for the key material. So this is where I'll provide the expiration order key. I'll provide the time, and there's 2. I'll just say 2024 11 and 11 0 10 12 0 0 0. And now just give a time zone as well. First here, now also give a region US East 1. So let's see. Please like, subscribe, share the video. Please contact us for any of your cloud requirements or cloud consulting requirements. We have decades of experience in cloud, and we can definitely help your organization take the right step in cloud. With that, thank you, and see you in the next video.